A black hole is coming straight for Earth. We could wait for it to gobble us up, but instead, we're going to try to destroy it. We're not just going to sit back and let this thing swallow our planet. No, we're going to throw everything we can at this black hole, nukes, advanced technology, and maybe even things we don't even have access to yet. We're going to throw all our power, creativity, and science at it. We might even try something as crazy as throwing a white hole at it. I know, it sounds wild, but we've got a serious mission here. The stakes are high. If we don't succeed, humanity will go extinct. So let's dive into this and figure out exactly what would happen if we tried to destroy a black hole headed for Earth. This is What If, and here's what would happen. Our first attempt to destroy the black hole is going to be a big one. We're going to gather every single nuke on Earth and launch them at the black hole. That's right, we're talking about an insane amount of energy. 425,000 times the energy of all the atomic bombs dropped during World War II. You'd think that would do the trick, right? After all, nukes are some of the most powerful weapons we have. They've decimated cities in seconds, so surely launching them at the black hole would blow it up, right? Well, not exactly. Black holes are tricky. They don't care about explosions or firepower. What they do is consume. It's like they're this huge, hungry space monster, just out there gobbling up everything in sight. When we launch all these nukes at the black hole, we're expecting a massive explosion, something that could shake the very fabric of space. But instead of blowing up, the black hole just eats the nukes. It's like a snack for it. And here's the kicker. Now the black hole is even bigger than before. So, as the saying goes, what doesn't kill a black hole only makes it stronger. Yeah, not exactly the result we were hoping for. The black hole just keeps growing, and we're back to square one. We need to rethink our strategy, because nukes just aren't going to cut it. So, nukes didn't work. The black hole just gobbled them up and got stronger. Now we need to understand what we're really up against. If we're going to defeat this thing, we have to know how it works. So, let's break down the basics of black holes. Black holes are incredibly dense regions in space, so dense that nothing, not even light, can escape from them. It's like a vacuum that sucks in everything around it. There are millions of them scattered throughout our galaxy. Some of them are formed when massive stars collapse in on themselves, leaving behind a super dense core. These are the smaller, stellar mass black holes, only a few times more massive than our Sun. But there are also supermassive black holes, some 100,000 times more massive than the Sun, formed by the collapse of huge gas clouds or the merging of multiple black holes. The big danger comes from the event horizon. This is the boundary around the black hole, the point of no return. Once you cross this line, you're done for. Nothing can escape, not even light. And if you were to fall into one, feet first, for example, you'd be stretched and squeezed at the same time due to the intense gravitational forces. This process, which sounds pretty terrifying, is called spaghettification. But it's not as fun as it sounds. It's essentially being stretched into a long, thin shape, like spaghetti. The worst part? Black holes keep getting bigger. They grow by consuming more and more matter and energy. And right now, that's what's happening to the black hole heading toward Earth. Every time we try to fight it, it just gets stronger, larger, and more unstoppable. So, we need to step up our game if we have any hope of stopping this thing before it gets to us. The question is, how? What could we possibly throw at it to make a difference? The answers won't be easy, but if we're going to survive, we have to keep trying. All right, so the nukes didn't do the job, and now we've got to get creative. What if we try to create our own black hole? If we can make one, maybe we can use it to fight the one coming toward Earth. Here's the idea. We could use antimatter to create a black hole. Antimatter is basically the opposite of regular matter. It's like the arch nemesis of a black hole. Instead of pulling things in, Antimatter could theoretically push things away. The concept is that if we make an antimatter black hole, it might be able to counteract the incoming black hole. Now, creating antimatter isn't easy. To do it, we'd have to take protons and accelerate them to nearly the speed of light. Then, we'd fire them into a material like iridium, which would knock out some fast-moving antiprotons. These antiprotons would then get slowed down, and we could focus them to help create antimatter. Once we have enough antimatter, we'd use it to create our black hole, but we'd need to make sure it's in the right place, in the right coordinates. It's tricky, but it could work. The idea is that once the antimatter black hole crashes into the regular black hole, there would be a massive explosion of energy. It could be just the thing to stop it. But here's the thing. It doesn't work. The antimatter black hole, instead of destroying the regular black hole, just gets sucked up. The black hole gets bigger and stronger once again. All that energy from the antimatter just feeds the thing, making it even more powerful. So, our antimatter black hole idea? Yeah, it didn't do anything but make the problem worse. The black hole keeps growing, and we're back to square one. This is not going well, but we can't give up yet. There's got to be a way to stop it. We just have to keep thinking outside the box. Alright, so the antimatter black hole idea didn't work, and now we're running out of options. But what if, instead of trying to fight the black hole directly, we could stop it from eating anything else? If we could figure out a way to cut off its food supply, maybe we could starve it into submission. After all, black holes grow by devouring matter and energy, so if we could stop that, it might shrink or even disappear, right? Well, as nice as that sounds, it doesn't quite work like that. Even if we manage to stop the black hole from consuming more matter, the mass it's already collected remains. The black hole's gravitational pull doesn't disappear just because we stop feeding it. Its size is already set, and it keeps pulling in everything in its path. So starving it? That's not going to cut it either. But what if we did the opposite? Instead of trying to stop it from feeding, what if we could feed it something else? Something that could challenge its very existence. And that's where the idea of a white hole comes in. White holes are the opposite of black holes. While black holes suck in everything, nothing can get into a white hole. It's like the anti-black hole of the universe. If we could somehow throw a white hole at the black hole, the two would have a clash, and they might cancel each other out. The two forces would annihilate each other in a massive burst of energy, probably resulting in a giant explosion. It would be like a cosmic battle between two opposites. The only problem is, white holes don't really exist. We've never seen one, and we have no idea how to create one. Even if we could somehow make a white hole, the energy released from the collision would be so massive that it would likely destroy everything in the area. The gamma radiation alone would be deadly, enough to give you instant cancer or, more likely, kill you on the spot. So, this idea, while cool in theory, doesn't really have a chance of working. We don't have white holes, and even if we did, they'd probably just cause more problems than they solve. Looks like we'll have to keep thinking if we want any chance of saving Earth. So, the white hole idea was a bust. Now we've got to try something else. Something even crazier. What if we could travel back in time? I know, it sounds impossible, but stick with me for a second. The idea is that if we could go back in time, we might be able to stop the black hole before it even formed. We'd need a time machine for this, which, as you probably know, doesn't exist. But let's imagine for a moment that it does. If we could use a wormhole to connect the black hole with its past, we might be able to go back to the moment when it was created. Now, here's the crazy part. At that point in time, the black hole wouldn't have started consuming matter yet. It would be a smaller, less powerful version of itself, and we could blast it with nukes, lasers, or anything else we have to stop it from ever growing into the massive threat it is. This idea works in theory, but there's one huge problem. we don't have a time machine, and we have no idea how to create one. So, while it's a fun thought experiment, it's not a real solution. But let's not give up just yet. There's still one more idea that could work, and it's a bit more realistic, at least in theory. What if we could build a bomb that explodes faster than the speed of light? Now, I know this sounds absolutely insane, but hear me out. The black hole pulls everything in, right? Not even light can escape. So, if we could make a bomb with an explosion that moves faster than light, it might be able to break free of the black hole's gravitational pull. Now, the problem is that we don't have a bomb that can explode faster than the speed of light. That's a serious issue, so while this is an interesting idea, it's not something we can actually do right now. But maybe, just maybe, if we keep advancing technology, we could make it work in the distant future. For now, though, we're out of time and options. The black hole keeps getting closer, and we're running out of ideas. Okay, so the bomb idea didn't work, and we're still facing this giant black hole hurtling toward Earth. But there's another possibility. Maybe we can deform the black hole itself. You see, we're not totally sure what's going on inside a black hole because, well, no one's ever made it past the event horizon to find out. But one thing we do know is that the black hole's density could be its weak spot. If we could somehow stretch it out and reduce its density, we might be able to destroy it. The problem is, scientists aren't sure if black holes have a finite size. They might just keep stretching infinitely. And if the black hole is infinite, there's nothing we can do to stretch it out. But let's assume for a second that it does have a size. If we could somehow stretch it and lower its density, it could collapse in on itself, and that would mean the end of the black hole. But that's just speculation. No one knows for sure whether this could work or not. There's another way we could try to destroy the black hole. What if we attacked the event horizon itself? This is the boundary around the black hole, the point where nothing can escape. If we could puncture a hole in the event horizon, it might start leaking mass. Without mass, the black hole wouldn't be able to exist anymore. It would dissipate, and with it, the threat to Earth would be gone. But here's the thing. Destroying the event horizon might not be so simple. We don't even know how to create a hole in it. It's a force field, essentially, that holds everything inside. It's not just a physical boundary, it's a part of the black hole's structure. And since we're still not sure what the event horizon is made of, or how to interact with it, this is another idea that might not work. Finally, there's one more option we could explore. Remember how I said black holes have angular momentum, which means they spin, and they have a charge that keeps things balanced? Well, what if we could mess with those properties? If we increase the spin of the black hole or add charge to it, we could disrupt its equilibrium. This might cause the black hole to lose its stability, and that could be enough to destroy it. But there's a catch. If we mess with it too much, we might break the entire universe. So, yeah, that's a risk. It's all a bit of a gamble, and we're still not sure what will work. But at least we're trying everything we can think of, right? And if we can't destroy it, maybe we can slow it down enough to get out of its way. Alright, so none of our ideas so far have worked, and we're still stuck with this growing black hole coming toward Earth. But here's something that might sound a bit more hopeful. Black holes can actually destroy themselves over time. This process is incredibly slow, but it's a real thing, and it could be our ticket to survival. Here's how it works. According to quantum theory, particles are constantly popping in and out of existence all around us. You've got pairs of particles, one matter, one antimatter, that are constantly appearing and annihilating each other. But when this happens near a black hole, something strange happens. One of the particles gets sucked into the black hole, and the other escapes into space. This process is called Hawking radiation. Over incredibly long periods of time, it causes black holes to lose mass. It's like the black hole is slowly leaking energy, and as it does, it gradually gets smaller and smaller. So, in theory, if we wait long enough, like trillions of years, this black hole would eventually shrink to the point where it disappears completely. Now, this sounds pretty good in theory, right? The black hole just slowly burns itself out, and we're saved. But let's be honest, this is not a practical solution. The black hole is going to keep growing for billions of years before it even gets close to that point. And if we're talking about the fate of humanity, we don't have that kind of time. Waiting around for a black hole to fade away slowly is definitely not the strategy we want to rely on. But there is something oddly comforting in knowing that, eventually, even the most terrifying forces in the universe will run out of steam. Sadly, that won't help us right now, but maybe one day, when the universe is a lot older, black holes will finally fizzle out on their own. For now, though, we're stuck trying every other idea to stop the black hole. And while ignoring it might not be the best solution, in the long run, it might just take care of itself. If only we could fast forward a few trillion years. So, what have we learned from all of this? Can we destroy a black hole? The answer, unfortunately, is no, not really. Every idea we've explored, from nuking it to trying to create antimatter black holes, has just made the situation worse or been completely impossible to pull off. We've thrown everything we could think of at it: bombs, lasers, white holes, time machines, and nothing worked. It's starting to look like the black hole might be unstoppable. And even if we could somehow manage to destroy it, the reality is that black holes are so powerful and so fundamental to the laws of physics, we'd probably have to be willing to risk destroying the entire universe in the process. It's a tough call, right? Destroying one black hole could mean the end of everything we know. But we've tried everything we can think of, and none of it worked. The good news is, the chances of a black hole actually coming for Earth are so incredibly small that we don't have to worry about this scenario anytime soon. Black holes don't just wander around looking for planets to eat. They're usually tucked away in far-off regions of space, and the one we'd need to worry about isn't even anywhere near our solar system. But just for fun, let's imagine the worst-case scenario. If we really were up against a black hole that was headed for Earth, our best bet might just be to get as far away from it as possible. The faster we could escape its gravitational pull, the better our chances. But honestly, we'd probably need a spaceship that can go faster than light, another thing we don't have right now. So, that leaves us with one last option: wait it out. Now, I know waiting around for a black hole to slowly destroy itself over trillions of years isn't exactly a thrilling option, but it might just be our best shot. Until science comes up with a breakthrough we can't even imagine yet, maybe our best hope is that the universe takes care of this problem in its own time. But hey, if you've got any crazy theories of your own, I'd love to hear them. Drop your thoughts in the comments, or head over to our Patreon where you can join our private Discord and chat with us. Maybe one of you has a solution that could finally defeat the black hole. For now, though, we'll have to accept that some things are just too powerful to stop. But don't worry, there's always another what if to tackle. So stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one. So, at the end of the day, what's the takeaway here? Can we actually destroy a black hole? The answer is no, we can't. Not with anything we have right now. We've explored all sorts of wild ideas, from throwing nukes at it to creating antimatter black holes, and none of them have worked. It's become pretty clear that black holes are just too powerful and too complicated for us to deal with. And even if we could figure out how to destroy one, we'd probably have to risk destroying the universe in the process. We're talking about forces that are so extreme that just trying to mess with them could have catastrophic consequences. The black hole is basically a force of nature that's nearly impossible to fight. But here's the thing. We don't actually need to worry about a black hole coming for Earth. The chances of that happening are so astronomically small, it's almost laughable. Black holes are usually found far, far away, deep in the universe, and the one that would need to be a threat to us is nowhere near our solar system. So, while it's fun to imagine these what-if scenarios, there's really no reason to lose sleep over them. Still, it's kind of amazing to think about how powerful black holes are and how much we still don't know about them. We've only scratched the surface of understanding these cosmic beasts. Who knows? Maybe someday, future generations will come up with some mind-blowing technology or a new understanding of physics that will give us the tools to actually deal with a black hole. Until then, though, we're stuck with ideas that are more fantasy than reality. For now, our best bet, if one of these things ever did come for us, would be to get away from it as fast as possible, assuming we could get a spaceship that could break the speed of light. And hey, maybe we'll get that technology in the future too. Who knows? But at the end of the day, the chances of Earth actually facing a black hole are so slim that it's probably not something we need to worry about. Still, it's fun to think about, and the science behind it is absolutely fascinating. So, if you've got any crazy theories of your own, or if you think you've got a better solution to stopping a black hole, let me know in the comments. Or come chat with us on Patreon, where you can join our Discord community and share your thoughts. But for now, I guess we'll just have to leave the black holes to the universe and focus on more down-to-earth problems. Until next time, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next What If. Alright, so let's wrap this up. Can we destroy a black hole? The honest truth is, no, we can't. We've tried every idea we could think of, bombing it, using antimatter, creating white holes, and even building a time machine. And it just isn't happening. The black hole keeps growing, and we're running out of options. At this point, we have to face the fact that some things in the universe are just too powerful for us to control. But don't let that discourage you. While we can't destroy a black hole today, that doesn't mean we won't be able to figure it out in the future. Science is always advancing, and maybe, just maybe, one day someone will discover a way to deal with these cosmic giants. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes exploring the universe so exciting. And just so you know, the chances of a black hole coming for Earth are incredibly small. Black holes don't just travel around space looking for planets to eat. They stay in their own regions, far away from us. So, even though this scenario makes for a cool thought experiment, it's not something we need to worry about in our lifetimes, or probably in the entire history of humanity. Still, imagining what we'd do if a black hole did suddenly threaten our planet is a fun exercise in creativity. It makes you realize how little we truly know about the universe, and how much more there is to learn. Maybe there are breakthroughs out there waiting to happen. Maybe we'll figure out how to manipulate space-time, or maybe we'll find a way to escape the pull of a black hole altogether. The possibilities are as vast as space itself. So, what's the lesson here? Well, if a black hole ever does come our way, the best we can do is try to run. But unless you've got a spaceship that can travel faster than light, and, spoiler alert, we don't, we'll probably just have to sit tight and hope for the best. But hey, maybe you have your own theories or ideas about how to tackle this. If you do, share them in the comments below. Or if you're feeling extra curious, join us on Patreon, where you can chat with us and other What If fans about the wildest what if scenarios. Thanks for watching, and remember, the universe is full of mysteries. So, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one. So, we've covered a lot in this video, and we're left with one big question. Can we destroy a black hole? The answer, unfortunately, is no. Despite all our attempts to bomb it, make antimatter black holes, throw a white hole at it, or even travel back in time, we've learned that black holes are just way too powerful for us to defeat with the technology and ideas we have at our disposal right now. And even if we could somehow figure out a way to destroy one, the truth is that trying to mess with something that strong could end up causing a lot more problems than it solves. A black hole isn't just a physical object. It's a fundamental force in the universe, and doing the wrong thing could potentially destroy the very fabric of space and time itself. So, no, blowing it up with bombs or lasers probably isn't going to do the trick. But here's the thing. The chances of a black hole ever threatening Earth are incredibly low. Black holes aren't roaming the galaxy looking for planets to swallow. They tend to stay put in the deep corners of space. The black hole that could pose a threat to Earth isn't even close to us, and it's going to take a lot more than a random cosmic event to send it our way. So, while the thought of a black hole coming toward us is a fun and exciting topic to explore, it's not something we need to lose sleep over. The universe is full of dangers, but a black hole is unlikely to be one of them for humanity, at least for a very, very long time. That said, the science behind black holes is fascinating, and the fact that we don't fully understand how they work is part of what makes them so intriguing. Who knows? Maybe in the future, we'll come up with some groundbreaking way to deal with them, whether it's a new form of technology, a better understanding of physics, or maybe even some mind-bending solution we can't even imagine yet. But for now, the best we can do is appreciate how amazing these cosmic forces are and leave the threat of black holes in the realm of science fiction. After all, even though they're some of the most destructive things in the universe, the likelihood of one coming for us is about as close to zero as it gets. So, if you've got any wild theories or ideas on how we could take on a black hole, share them with me in the comments. Or, if you want to dive deeper into these what-if scenarios, join us over on Patreon, where we can chat more about all the crazy ideas you can think of. Thanks for watching, and remember, the universe is a big place, and there's still so much to learn. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next What If video.